It's Graham Coath with another My Music. We're going to go live with another interview any minute now. But before that, this.
I need to get going, Mel. See you later.
And as if by magic, when I come back, I am joined by the wonderful Crayon and Nico. Round of applause.
Hello.
Echoes throughout the land of social media. Thanks for joining us if you are on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter this afternoon. Which one of your those particular social media platforms is your home, would you say, or are you quite happy on any of them?
I think we use them all. Sorry, I think we use them all slightly differently. So, I think Instagram tends to be more curated content where we're really paying attention to what we post, and then Twitter is more interacting with people. And TikTok is also a big one that we use now, and Facebook we're not so active on it, to be honest.
No, nor's a lot of people. They seem to be leaving in the droves. Oh, but we'll keep off of that. There we go. So thanks for joining me. Well, what a great end to the week to have you both here with me. And the band is called Lobsterbomb. What a great name. Who came up with that?
We get asked this question a lot, and there isn't really an answer for it because we don't really know. It's kind of a mystery. It was all decided in a bit of a daze, and it just
decided
happened.
In another life for you.
It kind of appeared.
Yeah, I think it was kind of like a gift from heaven.
Yeah, it was already there. The name was already there, out in the ether somewhere, and you just took into it. Came up and took it. Well, that's the best way to do that. Does the same happen with music? Do you feel that music's out there already written and you just walk into it? Or do you feel it is a process?
I actually heard this many musicians or artists say in general, they just go on walks and then just like they have an input and it seems like it just comes from the universe or something like that. But I also feel like I often have like really spontaneous ideas when I'm at home and I clean my house or something. Most of the times ideas come to me then. It's nothing I really plan on. It's like often just out of nowhere somehow.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's brilliant. Now listen, where did music start for both of you two? What was the first kind of influence in terms of music for you both? Was it when you were young, or was it sort of teenage years?
Do you want to go first, Nico?
Sure. I've always been interested in music. I actually got introduced by my uncle to 20s music. He had this like old, how you say, record player, and he played like 20s music to me. And later on, I got introduced to 50s rock and roll by my grandma, who had like all these crazy stories and how she danced with soldiers back then. And I was so fascinated by her story and by the music she listened to. And I started playing music pretty early when I was about 5 or 6. I really wanted a keyboard, and I got my first Casio keyboard. It was like the 90s after all. So I just started very early and I joined the choir. I played in several bands and always been a part of my life.
What about you, Craig?
Well, for me, my introduction to really liking music was I had to go on a lot of long car rides with my parents, and they would put on the worst radio station you can imagine, just playing the most generic, middle of the road, non-music you can think of.
Yeah.
But every now and then there would be one good song, one song with a bit of spark and a bit of energy to it. And this would have been the early 90s. So it would have been sort of like a Nena Cherry song would come on, and suddenly you would sit up in the back seat and go like, oh, music can actually be something really fun.
Yeah, a bit of Man-Child or something like that.
Yeah, something around that time. And then also from music videos like MTV Generation, watching the visual side of things and really connecting with music on that level as well. That it's not just the sound, but it can also be a statement of sort of visual art as well.
That's kind of coming back a little bit again now. It lost its way for a while, didn't it? That visual connection with music. I feel that, you know, we grew up in that generation where MTV was so big, and that the connection between the visual and the music was absolutely massive. And then it kind of drifted away a little bit. But a lot of artists are really kind of coming back with a visual kind of stance on the music again now. Is that important for you?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, I watched MTV as a teenager, like the whole day, and this is also how I connected to the artist. And just sometimes now I don't even know how the artist looks like, because I just hear it on Spotify or on Bandcamp or whatever. And now, we just shot our first music video like last week or a couple of weeks ago, and we were so excited to bring this visual aspect to our work, and it was so much fun to shoot it.
Yeah. What about you, Cran? Is that an important thing for you as well? Is that a reason, one of the reasons why you perhaps got together as a band?
Yeah, I think for us all, one of the big motivations of being in a band is to actually have fun and do fun, creative things. And sort of making the video, even though it's a lot of work and it's stressful, it's also super rewarding creatively to see something that goes from a couple of doodles on a piece of paper or on a computer, and then suddenly you're in a studio making it real. So it's just an extension of the fun, creative process of being in a band. So it's.
Yeah, people don't understand how much work goes into a video. My son's doing film at the moment at university. People just don't understand how much film you have to actually film in order to come away with 3 minutes of decent footage. But you do. I mean, it literally is. It's very time consuming.
Yeah, absolutely. It's currently being edited, and Vic, who isn't here, is editing. So thank you, Vic, for going through all of the hours of footage that we shot.
Thanks, Vic.
Yeah, my goodness. How did the three of you meet?
We actually met on Instagram. The band Gurr, you might know them. They had this like page on Instagram where you can find bandmates. So like little handwritten notes. So I sent one in, and then Crayon found me, and a little later we found Vic. So we just met like this, and I was really scared that this will take forever to actually find bandmates, but it went so quick and it just worked from the beginning. And yeah, I'm really grateful for that.
That's amazing. I mean, that's something to be applauded in terms of modern technology. I mean, there's certain things about modern technology which are dreadful, and we might come on to that in a minute. But there are other things like that make that brilliant. I mean, when I first got to university, having been in the band when I was 14, and I'd always been in bands, I really struggled to find a band. It took me a year to find a band to get into. It was really, really difficult process.
Yeah, the funny thing is, we met on Instagram, but we actually, at the time, all lived within about 2 minutes of each other.
Yeah.
No.
Like Crayon and I, we lived in the same street, like next to each other.
Wow.
So, crazy.
So yeah, we would never have connected if we didn't have this random Instagram account that we all happened to look at. So it's
So you use this basically this global interface which allows you to talk to anybody anywhere in the world, and you meet and you say, oh yeah, actually I'd be really interested in meeting and doing this, and you go, oh right, actually, oh, you live down the road.
Exactly. Yeah, it was insane.
That's fantastic. What else was it when you first started to connect and talk to each other? What else was it that led you to believe we could do this together as a band?
To me, it just felt like, sometimes it's hard for you to open up in front of strangers, especially when you're a musician and you use your voice and it's like a really fragile state. But I never felt like anxious to sing in front of them both, or like to just like share my ideas. or to just be open. It felt like really natural. And at this point I thought, yeah, that's actually nice. So let's do this. And it was really clear for me, at least from the beginning.
Yeah, and I think we also all had some experiences of trying to make a band happen, and it just never gets off the ground. And the rehearsal is just ends up drinking beer and eating pizza and not actually making any
All
music.
the time.
So I think we were all really motivated to be a bit more sort of focused and actually say, hey, if we're going to be in a band, let's make music, let's write songs, let's do it. So we've always been pretty focused in our rehearsal and not wasting too much time.
Yeah, well, I think we've all been in that kind of situation where, you know, you get together. Sometimes it's never going to be a band. It might just be a group of friends that end up getting together. And as you say, all that ever happens is you eat and everybody other than the drummer starts playing the drums. And that's it. And you know, that's just how the evening's going to go, but it's never actually going to progress into music. But you do know, I think, fairly quickly when it's going to work and gel musically. There's almost like a shared belief and a shared want to go in a particular direction. Talking about musical direction, did you have to decide on the musical direction for this, or did you all decide actually our influences are there and that's pretty much where we're going to go in terms of sound?
Yeah, I mean, Crayon and we brought our ideas in and it just matched somehow. I mean, every song is different, but somehow they all work together.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a decision we made. It just like kind of evolved over time.
And it's also a case that because none of us are sort of virtuoso musicians, we're kind of we benefit from the fact that we're restricted to playing relatively simple songs. And this is actually a good thing because it means we can focus more on the lyrics and the performance and the structure rather than being too intricate or trying to be too clever about the actual musical side. It's just like, let's just play some chords and make it sound nice and make sure that we're happy with it.
Yeah. Is there, in a way though, is there too much of a focus from, in terms of sort of overproduction and over musicianship in certain songs these days? I mean, you can kill a song to death, can't you, with production and virtuoso performance?
I mean, everyone has their own style, but yeah, some of the modern music is like over the top, but everybody finds their own way. But we just wanted to experience to make it ourselves, to do it DIY, just really figuring out how to like record stuff and how to produce it. We got some help for sure, but yeah, it's like just really rough somehow, but really like real,
Yeah. Oh, so it's really good in terms of what you want to say, because obviously that's the other thing, making music's one thing, but in terms of the voice and what the band are standing for and what you say, did you all come together on that as well straight away? Lyrically, did you all decide this is what we want to say as a band?
Want to answer, Quinn?
I think that really we don't have a sort of strict identity in terms of lyrical genre or lyrical themes. We're not trying to be a statement band. We're just saying how we feel and if we have something to say, we'll say it. But it's not like we have a manifesto or It's pretty relaxed in that regard. And also with genre as well, we're not sort of putting ourselves into any boxes. We're open for everything, and as long as we all like the song itself, then there's no problem for us to work on it.
Yeah. Is there, in terms of influence, or in terms of maybe in terms of musicians or even producers, is there anyone that you've has particularly influenced you over the years?
You want to start? I have to think about this for a moment. There's so many.
So for me, for my guitar playing, I think at the point when I was first getting able to sort of express what I wanted on a guitar rather than just doing the most super basic things, at that time I was listening to a lot of Neil Young, and I think that kind of carried on in my playing style a little bit, his rhythm style, and playing a solo that's just 2 notes is enough. I like that kind of minimal style, and sort of focusing on the tone and the timing rather than being intricate. So I think that's probably the most noticeable one, even though I don't really listen to Neil Young that much anymore. But when I was sort of 15, that was what was on the radio, so I was definitely influenced by it.
But there's someone, but you pick someone there in a way that's a real songwriter, and that the songs were important, you know. And even though maybe stylistically you might not be following in the Neil Young tradition at the moment, actually, you know, he's written some really solid songs, and they're not, as you say, they're not all complex.
No, for sure. It's a lot of the time it's more about a vibe or a mood rather than anything more complicated than that.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Nico? Is there anyone that you've been really influenced by?
Damn, there's so many. Gotten really into Tame Impala over the past 10 years, I think. But in general, I really just like got influenced a lot of by psychedelic rock from the 60s and 70s. This is why Tame Impala works so well for me. But this really worked really, really well for me my entire life, is psychedelic rock. Or just like when I was like younger, I really, really loved Muse as well. Like I really loved the dramatic side of music, which is like brought me into this like weird kind of space. I also like, even if it's not modern, I love long songs where I can just walk around and it's just like this 7-minute long song I can listen to. So like, yeah, the 60s and 70s really influenced me heavily. And the early 2000s, of course, bands that came up then.
Yeah. Well, did you ever pretend to be anybody? Singer when you were a singer as well, did you ever pretend to be anyone or imitate anybody as you were growing up?
Not really. No, couldn't think of anybody.
I did it all the time. I do it all the time.
You did? No.
Yeah. I was going to say, I mean, it for me, I've always kind of, you know, I feel that you kind of sometimes struggle to find your own voice for a while if you do that. But if you haven't done that, that's brilliant, because actually what you're doing is you fixate on trying to be like somebody or whatever, or or stylistically you try and copy someone. And
I mean, probably subconsciously we are always influenced by something or someone, and this is then how step by step our own style will be created. And it's so hard to not like be influenced by anybody, and I think every musician is influenced by everything, and then we collect it all and we breathe it in, and then we just come up with our own kind of style. Subconsciously, of course, we always influenced.
Yeah.
And something that's coming up now is because we've been playing together for a couple of years, we're starting to really understand each other's style. So like if I'm writing a song that Nico's going to sing, I can sort of have an idea of what works for her voice, and the same if she's writing a song that is going to be good for the rest of the band. It's like we're influencing each other as well, which is a really fun thing with the new songs that we're working on now.
Cool. Yeah, you start to understand someone's, you know, what would fit someone in terms of tone or phrasing or you know, things like that, so that actually it amplifies the stronger parts of their vocal range or their voice. So that makes sense. What are the ambitions for this band then?
It's hard to say, really. It's like like I said, the main motivation for all of us was to like have good experiences and have fun. And I think if you're going into starting a band with any idea of like, we're going to be super famous and super rich and super successful, then you're probably setting yourself up for a hard time. So we want to have fun and we want to play shows. And obviously if we get a bit more famous and we have some more success, then it makes that easier. But I think, especially with the context of doing everything with a global pandemic in the background, we're not putting too much pressure on ourselves about where we want to be exactly.
Yeah.
Is this in terms of an outfit? Is this a real live band? What do people come to see when they come to see Lobsterbomb?
I mean, what they can see is just us having fun and just like, you know, we really evolved through the live shows as a band. I think it became more and more crazy and colorful, and just like we love to connect to the audience and just like get them to sing with us and scream with us and just really dance and let it all out and just get all the frustrations out. It's like, in sense that like we just made this little space in the song where people can just scream with us during the live show. And I think it's so important for us to play more and connect more with people, because it's the best part of being in a band, isn't it? It's like you can hang out in the studio and record and record and record, and you know, you never.
But that's great if you're getting that experience with people live, and it's actually, it requires some work and some dedication as well to actually draw that from an audience sometimes. And I think it's amazing actually. Sometimes when I go to see a band live, I'm really quite disappointed. Sometimes I'm more disappointed with the audience than I am with the band, if that makes sense to you. Because I often, you know, there's very few bands that I go to see, maybe it's the choice of band, who don't actually put the work and the effort in. But it's amazing how many people go to a gig and they're like, and you think,
people are so shy.
Why?
It's definitely something that we're conscious of, and we do actively try and encourage people to. We sort of give you permission to have a good time at this show. If you want to dance, like, we want you to dance, and we really make that super clear.
Yeah.
But that's also coming from our personalities as well. It's not like a fake thing where we're just saying, "Are you ready to rock?" It's actually like we're a little bit stage divas, so we like this as well. When people are having a good time, and we can see that gives us a lot more energy when we're playing.
No, of course. I mean, and it does. It lifts everybody all up together. I mean, that's the thing. If it's done, if that happens and it's done in the right way, not only it feels like family in the room as well, doesn't it?
Yeah,
You know?
It's great how you can connect. You know, music is energy, and all the sounds energy, and it's like fantastic. Or you can just have a good time together. It's not just like us wanting to have a good time, you know.
Yeah. And actually, how important do you think that is for people these days? I mean, we've been living through this pandemic, and we actually saw in the middle of this pandemic as well, we actually started to see at times people really beginning to reconnect with the fact that they were human again, which was a good thing. You know, the fact that they actually realised that everybody was going through this. This wasn't just isolated to one particular country or one particular area, but everybody collectively was going through this together. But how much do you think society had kind of forgotten to kind of let go and say, oh, actually, look, we do all belong to each other, and we have all got this collective responsibility to each other, and actually we do need times like this where we just all let go together. You know, and I think that's an important thing that can happen with music and live performance like that, in bringing together a completely different. So no, it's fine. Bringing together a completely different bunch of people who would probably never say boo to a goose to each other normally, but suddenly in a room they're connected.
Yeah, there's definitely an appetite for this reconnection, and I feel it myself. I haven't been to a show as an audience member in so long, and I miss it. I want to, as soon as it's possible here again, I want to go to every show that I can go to. So I think that we're also for bands. I think there's going to be a big wave of people who've got this pent up creative energy that's ready to come out. So I think we're going to have a really positive period after the pandemic, hopefully, where both the audience and the bands are sort of really going all out to let everything out that they've been holding in for the last couple of years.
Yeah, as Odessa says, who's listening, collective celebration of music. Is that what we need, Nico? A collective celebration of music?
For sure. I believe many people went through such a hard awakening and had so many struggles over the past 2 years. But we also learned that some things can't be done online. You know, when I hear stuff, ideas that, you know, concerts are planned online via the metaverse, like, what's the point? Like, you totally lose the point in music and experiencing it live. And, you know, you're in the audience and you connect to the other fans and you connect to the band. It will be lost. And I hope this won't become another episode of Black Mirror. So it's just like,
right.
I hope some things they don't evolve into be just online. You know, we just have to like meet and like in real life and hear the music.
There's a time and place for online stuff. It's like, it's not always bad, and like for meeting people who are in countries maybe far away, it's good, and for certain things it has a place, but you can't replace the live experience.
Totally agree. I think it should just be, you know, for me, it should just be used where it's suitable, and it should be a conduit as well. It should actually maybe be the start of something and lead to something. I mean, we're all in different time zones. We're in different parts of the planet, etc. at the moment. So this would be very difficult to do live, you know, at this time of the afternoon, especially when we all work or whatever. But having said that, you know, there's no reason if suddenly tomorrow you were in Bristol down the road playing a gig, there's no reason why we couldn't have done this live from Bristol. Yeah. So, you know, one day we'll get there, and if you're over here and you're playing a gig, we'll go for a pint and we'll do it again. So
absolutely.
So tell people what music have you got out, and what's coming in the year to come.
So we have just released today our single Sense, which is a fast and frenetic song, which we mentioned earlier, where you can scream. So if you do have any frustration, check out Sense. You can find it everywhere on Spotify, Bandcamp, Apple Music, wherever you find your music. And yeah, we're sort of figuring out the plan. We're going to have the music video coming out pretty soon, which also is going to be a lot of fun, and it already looks great. And yeah, we're probably just going to carry on writing songs and releasing some singles, and maybe hopefully playing some shows later in the year.
I like this. Every parent needs this song.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They can scream in their pillow.
Yeah, absolutely. Play it loud at your kids, folks.
Yeah. Kids will love it.
The kids will love it too. But get the parents to use it as a form of release. That's a great idea. So music coming out today. Hopefully some gigs sometime later in the year.
Yeah, so here in Germany, it's still much more locked down than in the UK. So we're probably looking Easter time before things are kind of really back to normal.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're open to everything, and yeah, we can't wait to get back on stage.
Oh, well, thank you both for coming in today to talk to me. Good luck with the music. Or not good luck. God bless with the music. I hope it really takes off. I hope people listen. I hope people carry on to support you. And where's the best place for people to get hold of the music? Where do you want people to go for that?
Well, you can check us on Spotify, or even better, you can check our Bandcamp. You can buy the track. You can get some merch there as well.
Buy it, yeah, and buy the merch.
Yeah, merch, beautiful merch.
Well, that's the thing, you know. I would always say, go to the place where you can actually buy the music, folks.
Bandcamp.
Yeah, go where you can actually spend your pennies, because you know people don't make money out of music these days. But every little helps, as our supermarket over here says. So to do that, go to Bandcamp, find Lobsterbomb, download, buy a T-shirt, if you can as well.
They're cute.
Yes, exactly. And if you're going to listen to it on Spotify, at least buy the T-shirt.
Or just share it. Also, like that also helps us a lot. Just getting the word out. If you like the song,
absolutely.
Put it on your Instagram story, put it on your Twitter, put it on your TikTok. It all helps us. Yeah,
absolutely. Both of you, Brian, Nico, thank you so much for coming in today. Thank you for talking to me.
Thank you.
I'll speak to you sometime in the future. Bye.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.